Cerebral palsy affects Kate in an extreme way. She is nonverbal, she is non-ambulatory, she does not walk. She is a total care child, so she really needs assistance with all of her daily living.
Kate overall is a happy child. She loves music, she loves school, she likes going for rides in the car.
When it happens early on, you really feel like you're on an island, and there's no one that will understand this. Not even your own parents understand what you're going through. They couldn't. But finding those other parents who are walking in the same shoes as you, those are my greatest resources, and we connect each other all the time through social media, through email, through text, when we need new doctors, when we need new equipment.
So we have a home that has doorways that are wide enough. We have wheelchair ramp in the garage, and we have a full roll-in shower.
We went 10 years without having any outside help. After we had a second child, things really ramped up, and we decided after one of the big surgeries that Kate had that it was time to reach out to a home care agency.
When you have a child, it's like planning a vacation. You think you're going to Florida. I'm going to go to Florida, and this is what it's going to be like, and we're going to go do X, Y, and Z. Well, all of a sudden, if that child is not what you think, or what you didn't envision, you end up in China, and it's like, well, this isn't Florida. This isn't where we were supposed to go. But after a while, you start looking around saying, oh, well, they got some pretty neat things over here, and we can make the best of this.
And I think our goal as a couple is to live as normally as possible. Yes, this is a different normal, but it's our normal, and we do as much as we can as other families do.
The way CP affects Christopher, he's bedbound. He does not walk. He has the vision impairment. He has profound hearing loss. He needs a feeding tube for all his nutrition. He also gets all his medications through his feeding tube. He's nonverbal, and he needs a lot of equipment to get him through his day. The way I explain cerebral palsy to people is I just tell them that it's an injury to the brain, and because of that injury, Christopher has been left with special needs. Reaching out to parents of older children has always been my biggest resource because they've already been through this. And a lot of times it does cut the time in half of finding out things because they already know. You have to really know what kind of parent you're gonna be. Are you gonna be the parent that puts him in a bubble? Or are you gonna be that parent that wants him to enjoy their life? One of the things that I've learned with Christopher is definitely not to live beyond my means, because if Christopher ends up in the hospital, I need to still be able to financially take care of my home. My daughter Celine had to really adjust to Christopher's needs. Just talking to her and just telling her, like, look, your brother has these challenges. This is not temporary. This is how Christopher's gonna be. We need to learn to love him in this way and to care for him. Celine has actually become one of Christopher's caregivers. She takes care of Christopher a couple days a week when I'm away at work. What I would say to parents just starting out is, yes, it is a challenge, but it's doable.
Stay on defense. Watch hands. Watch hands. Nice shot. Got it. Oh, air ball.
Ira is full of energy. He does not allow his disability to be a barrier to him getting around and doing things that his friends do. We really try to tell him everybody has a disability. The only difference is that everyone can see yours. When Ira was first diagnosed with CP, we felt like it happened to us and we had no control over his disability. And then over the years, we figured out, like, well, we gotta be better parents about planning and being more in control of what's gonna be next, what's gonna happen next. One of the ways that we ended up being successful when he was younger was to really advocate for what we thought our child needed to be successful in life. Over the years, I've matured into how I respond to people who see Ira and his disability. He's actually taught me to be more, in his words, cool about it. They would just be, in my opinion, just looked at him like he was different. And I would get angry. And Ira would be like, oh, Mom, they just don't know. Don't get angry. It has been very hard to have Ira living independently and taking control of his life, his finances, his health, what he wants to do. We've had to learn to loosen up a little bit, allow him to make more mistakes. That's been hard. As a new parent of someone with cerebral palsy, I would say make a lot of goals, make realistic goals, and then celebrate when you achieve those goals. The goal of being able to cut a steak, that was a goal for us. And he didn't achieve it till he was into high school. But he got there, and so we celebrated. Never would have imagined that he'd be in college, that he'd be, hosting his own radio show.
Yes, this is Ira reporting to you live from downtown Newark.
And some of the opportunities that have come to him, I couldn't have mapped it out, even if I tried. It's been great. Sorry, the tear came.
Paige is like any other child her age, except for the fact that she has a difficult time walking. I thought CP was somebody in a wheelchair who couldn't speak. And to find out that there was such a spectrum with CP, completely eye-opening to me. Sometimes I feel like it's hard for me to say to other people that she has CP with a child who has severe CP. She is on the mild side. And I think the biggest thing that I learned was that it doesn't get worse. It's CP is CP, but as she has the growth spurts, as she gets older, different things are going to come into play. And she may have to have another surgery. So that's something that we definitely have to keep on top of. Paige has brought so many positive things to our family. I think we all sort of look at life a little differently with Paige. And even if we have to struggle with some of her disabilities, it's made us all so much better. She is the sweetest thing in the whole world.
Emma goes to our local elementary school. She's going into 2nd grade.
I always say if she could walk and talk, she would be the class clown of the classroom. She loves life. She's always smiling, always laughing.
She's classified as spastic quad, which means that all of her limbs are affected. So basically her arms and her legs have a really tight tone, but her body, her trunk control, she's really floppy.
Our coping strategies, let yourself process. Give yourself some time. It's like when you're in a plane and they tell you, help yourself before you help somebody else. That's what you have to do. Allow yourself to cry. Allow yourself to grieve, because there is a grieving period. Different people grieve differently. But I believe that's important. And once you come to acceptance, then you can move on.
And it's amazing. Parents, they just want to pass on all the information that they have that they wish they had when they were initially going through the whole learning process. And it's even better to see them come out the other side and be happy and accepting and living, realizing that like life can be pretty joyful, and it's not always so sad. She has all these challenges that she faces every day, but not one of them makes her upset or sad, and she doesn't feel sorry for herself. She goes out and she just enjoys the heck out of it.
Shannon is like a typical teen in so many ways. You have the mood swings, you have her, rolling her eyes, you have her wanting to be with her friends, you have her wanting to be around cute boys. Physically, CP affects Shannon tremendously. She is unable to sit, walk, or do anything unassisted. There were a couple things I worried about, but at the same time, I had this amazing little girl who was just winning you over with her personality and what she could do, not so much what she couldn't do. We always treated Shannon as if she understood, because she did.
I hit my switch when I hear what I want to see.
So Shannon has friends that have cerebral palsy, some just like her. Shannon also has a host of typical friends, just average teenagers that she's met through schooling or being out in the community. I've seen Shannon handle the different stares and people who look at her in the community with confidence. I tell her to smile, that you're awesome. Go right up to them, smile back right at them, Shannon, smile bigger. Show them you're the bigger person. That just because you might be drooling or, looking a little funny or moving funny, you're still totally awesome. I've realized the importance of having me time and having Shannon have separate time. We both need that balance so we can come back to each other like refreshed and wanting to be with each other. I've never looked at a situation and said, oh, she's not gonna do this. She won't have these milestones that her peers have or other people have. I look at it like, okay, what are you gonna do today? Where are we gonna go? Take it, take the lead.